Neutral. Ooh, it's defensive. Increases physical defense and magic defense and restores all allies. What? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's an AoE heal that does physical and magic defense? Uh-oh. So the first thing we do is we always check out the aesthetics, which, oh man, what a pose. What a pose. Yeah, what a pose. Damn. This is cool. This is cool. I like the way the sword looks. Love the cape. All battered and bruised. As like the tank having a battered and bruised outfit's pretty cool. Got like the faux fur going around the neck. The little adornment in the head. That looks cool too. Got some, I can't tell, are those like scars or they're just little tattoos, little painted on tattoos. This is Angeal. This is young Angeal. Love the gauntlets too. Look pretty cool. Standard boots, standard pants. Nothing crazy there. No fancy belts. Somebody check on NOMURA, see if he's okay. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Yeah, it looks good, man. It looks good. I'm a fan of this one. It looks good. All right, let's check it out. Greatsword of the Worthy. You know what? You are so right. You are so right. Yeah, my bad. You're absolutely correct. That's my fault. All right, so we've got Shield of the Mighty. I see. It is not a real healing weapon then. Unless... Oh. All right. Check it out at OB10. So at OB10, it does a medium physical defense increase up to high. Does a magic defense medium up to high. Jeebus, thanks for liking the live. I appreciate it. Which is very good. This is very good. Just so we're clear, this is a very good effect, especially when it's only cost 4 ATB. Mithril Rod specifically for Aerith, I'm pretty confident is 5 ATB. So 4 ATB is great for an effect like this. The heal is negligible. The veil is cool. And the veil is specifically when Angeal has less than 70% HP. So it's giving you a 10% max HP shield when Angeal has taken more damage, which is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's a little nichey, but otherwise it's pretty cool. The cool part about Veil is like it gives you a defensive shield when you're at your weakest, right? So when your party's like falling down and getting weak, this gives you defensive buffs and then also gives you an extra shield on top of that with a minor heal. So it's enough to like top you up basically until you get your heal off. So it's still a very good weapon. Attack all allies and defense is a very interesting combination of abilities. Obviously, boost attack all allies is good as a main hand weapon because it gives you both physical and magic attack, so it makes it very useful for any party that you would put Angeal in, which is nice. Obviously, it's weaker than physical attack all allies or magic attack all allies, which is fine. It's still good. It doesn't mean it's bad. It's still good, but it's just kind of okay. Physical defense, obviously, always very good with a tanker. Any tank stats for a tank is very good, so physical defense is obviously very strong. The R abilities or the sigil abilities for the materia slots, I really wish this had a cure-all, man. Like, I was just talking about this with the Tifa banner, where the ideal Tifa team kind of looks like, at least right now, right? Kind of looks like Angeal, Yuffie, and Tifa, right? Where Angeal is doing the earth resist down and the physical defense down, Yuffie's doing physical attack up and earth damage, and Tifa's doing exploit weakness and earth damage. And Tifa at the same time is also increasing your entire team's earth damage on top of that. But right now the biggest issue is that when you go to do that, you're looking at maybe just a cure, like a cura spell, because none of those characters have the ability to really heal everybody except for Tifa. Right? And if Tifa's going to be your main damage dealer, you don't really want her having a healing weapon in the offhand. Makes it a little awkward. So then you're stuck without a healing weapon. And so it's fine when you're straight up DPSing, and we might check that. We're going to see that in the guild battle tonight, whether or not that actually is like the focus or not. but it's interesting to see like how we'll tackle that, because it's still a problem for the physical earth team. They just don't have a healer right now. And this doesn't really do anything to solve that, right? When it said heal, I thought we were gonna get like a decent heal. 7% is not a heal. That's nowhere near enough. Now, if it gave like a 15-second regen or something, sure, but a 7% heal is not that big. It is a good weapon. It is a good weapon. It's nice to have another option to increase defensive stats. Right now, he does have Stalwart Integrity, which does an AoE physical defense increase, and it doesn't take 2 casts when it's at OB6 or higher. It only takes 1, but this one does physical defense and magic defense. I did notice that at OB0, the magic defense is low to mid, so it doesn't go to mid to high until OB6. So you would want to get this up to OB6 in order to get the magic defense up, or you would have to cast it twice to get it up to mid, which makes it kind of a subpar magic defense weapon until it's OB6. And so that's kind of the issue with this one, right? And I'm gonna call it an issue because that's what it is. At the end of the day, you would need to get this to OB6 to really see it have an impact for your team. And I just don't think it's good enough to warrant pulling that far. I don't. I think that it's worth getting like the one copy, though, like the one-off copy to use weapon parts on later down the road. But it's just too much of an investment for too little of an effect. It is cool, like having a 4 ATB physical and magic defense increase across the team is great. And right now, to my knowledge, I think this is Angeal's only way to increase magic defense across the squad. So it is good to have that, but also like having to get Adobe 6 is kind of a buzzkill, right? When the other 3 banners are so strong. So from my perspective, I think this is a pretty easy skip. I'm gonna be honest with you. Obviously we haven't looked at the outfit yet, but in terms of just the weapon's not all that impressive to me. It is good. It is not a bad weapon, but amongst the 4 banners right now, it is by far and away the bottom of the 4. Easily for me. I don't even think this is up for debate. If it had a cure-all slot here instead of a sigil boost slot, it'd be a different conversation, right? It would be a totally different conversation, but because these are offensively focused, I don't really care, right? Like, I don't really need Angeal to do damage. I need Angeal to tank and to heal my team, right? And right now he can tank, and he can tank super well, but he can't heal the team very well. So it makes it kind of hard to use Angeal right now outside of a support unit versus a healing unit. And he should have a heal augmenteria slot. Like Barrett has one. I don't know if Glenn has one or not. Glenn might not, but I know that Barrett has one, and there's no reason why Angeal can't have one as well. And this would have been a great one to put it on and would have made this limited weapon much more usable than it is right now. That's okay though. Not that big of a deal. Like I said, not every banner has to be a banger, and thankfully all 4 of these aren't. So you get to make a good choice, right? So for me, if you're the weapon, I'm not super big on this. Reprieve is fantastic. That changes my opinion on the banner at least. Reprieve on Angeal is amazing. So that's really good. It's a bummer that the weapon isn't very strong though. And then what's Crown of the Worthy? When granting physical defense up, max potency tier +1. Oh. Well, that stinks. Well, shoot, that's really good. What a bummer. What a bummer, dude. Yeah, I don't know, man. That sucks. The outfit is great, because what this allows Angeal to do is, instead of being able to go up 3 tiers for physical defense, Angeal with this outfit can go up to 4 tiers of physical defense. Specifically physical defense though, not magic defense. But yeah, that's kind of the it's a really good outfit. The outfit's fantastic. Like the outfit is absolutely fantastic. I think if the weapon was a little bit stronger, I think it would be worth the investment. But as it stands now, I just can't justify spending what would likely be at least 18 to 21,000 crystals to get to the outfit for a weapon that's kind of subpar. This weapon with Stalwart Integrity is great, because Stalwart Integrity does a high physical defense increase right now at OB6 and higher, and you don't have to cast it twice, right? So you just get, and you're getting a physical attack increase on top of it. So it does say it only affects the max tier, which would tell me that the Stalwart Integrity would still have to be casted twice to get to the +4. Because it does say only affects max tier. So that's where the new weapon would get the benefit, right? Because the new weapon only does a mid tier, and when you cast it twice, then you're getting +4 on the physical defense side and +3 on the magic defense side. So that's where the new weapon kind of outshines the stalwart integrity in that certain circumstance alone. But other than that, I don't think that this weapon is very worth it. Although this outfit is fantastic, right? It's great. The outfit is great. There's literally nothing wrong with the outfit. And whenever we pull on banners, we are specifically pulling for the outfits. However, when it comes to these 4 banners, we have 3 banners that have excellent weapons with 4 banners that have excellent outfits, right? So this is the odd banner out that's just like, the weapon isn't bad, it's good, but it's not great, and the other 3 weapons are great. I would not be pulling on this banner over the other 3 at all. At all. Even though utility weapons tend to have longevity in the game, I just don't think this one's powerful enough. I just don't. And I could be wrong, but like when I go look at weapons that do mixed defensive increases, I can think of 2 right off the top of my head. One is Aerith with the Mithril Rod, which I'll tell you right now, I've never used. So yeah, it's a 5 ATB with a mid to mid, mid to mid. So it's just mid. It's a 14-second duration, which is lower than the new weapon. The new weapon is 20, right? So the new weapon is longer with 2 defensive stats, right? So not offensive focus, but 2 defensive stats. And it's a 5 ATB, and it has a buff debuff extension materia slot, which gives a 20% buff debuff extension to any materia that you put in here. So this could be barrier, this could be the new bravery materia, this could be anything that does a debuff, so debrave, defaith, etc. Yeah, just mid. So that's the one, and then the other one is for Matt. So this one is also for ATB, and this one you have to be above 50% HP to get the mid to high physical defense. But this one comes with HP, which is good, defensive stat, and buff debuff extension, which keeps that buff on longer. So like, and on top of that, it has a cure all materia slot. So you see my point with the new weapon, right? Like, Syringe Rapier is not a limited weapon. Does the exact same thing that that weapon does without the Veil. The Veil is still important. It doesn't have attack all allies, but it does have a defensive R ability with buff debuff extension to keep your defensive stats up higher for longer, and they both go mid to high. And it has a cure all materia slot, which is easier to keep your HP above this threshold. So for me, this is a pretty easy skip. I'm still gonna go over the wish list and stuff, obviously, but like for me, this is a very easy skip. I don't think you want to pull on this at all outside of the one individual pull to get the one copy of the weapon. Just like every limited banner, right? If it's a limited banner, you're pulling at least once to get that one copy to make sure that you can always have access to it later down the road with weapon parts. Okay, so in terms of the wish list, for Angeal specifically, when you're looking down the list of weapons that Angeal has available to him, there are not a lot of options in here that are immediately obvious. The only one that I can think of is Gargantuan Monolith, because it gives some good defensive stats and also gives Provoke. Obviously, the magic defense increase is kind of whatever. He doesn't really need that at this point, obviously, because his AoE magic defense is happening from his other weapon. But this does allow him to pull the Provoke in, which allows him to take damage, which then allows him to get the Veil effect off with his new weapon. So there is a benefit to having Provoke. This is just one of the options. There are many. Gargantuan Monolith is just one of the best defensive R ability weapons in the game, which makes it worth pulling for. So this is an option. The other option that I think is probably the one that most folks will go for is going to be the Type 90 Longsword. This one also does physical defense increase, so that would pair very well with your weapon. I think that would actually max out his physical defense. It absolutely would, yeah. So you would max out his physical defense with this weapon in the offhand. Also does Provoke, has a decent 750% damage, and importantly, does provide regen for himself. So that'll help keep him topped up a little bit when you're trying to keep him underneath that 70% threshold. You'll be able to use regen to stay close to the 70%, but not get too far ahead of it. So that's an option. If you don't have that at OB10, that's a pretty easy one. Gargantuan Monolith, like I said, also a pretty good offhand weapon as something that can give you HP, some magic defense stats. I've already mentioned Stalwart Integrity, which is one of the best attack weapons in the game. in terms of just providing attack to your entire team, gives defense to your entire team, has really great R abilities. Wish this was a little bit higher, but 62 HP is great. Obviously, these materia slots aren't whatever, but still very good. That's an option as well if you don't have that at OB10. In terms of any of his other offhand weapons, you could look at more offensive focused ones. So you can look at specifically the Greatsword, which does an area of effect physical defense down to high, which is very, very good. Also gives Veil to Angeal, which is very good as well. So when you do get to that 70% threshold, you can put a Veil up, make sure that he's taking less damage, and then reapply the Veil for your entire team at that point. In terms of his backhand weapons, the things that he would put into his offhand or into his sub slots, you would just give him basically any of the utility stuff. So you'd be looking at physical attack all allies, you'd be looking at physical defense all allies. These are guild weapons and limited weapons. You're not going to see anything on the wish list here. So in terms of what you would want to wish list on top of his weapons, just kind of pull for whatever you want. Anything that's come out recently that you're looking for, Brilliant Collars are an excellent choice. If you're looking to boost up your guild battle to make sure that your earth damage is doing the most damage it can, you could look at something like Hawkeye. You could also look at Sequoia Dendron, which does a really good physical attack and earth potency. This is a great sub weapon for physical earth damage. So if you pulled Von Tifa, Sequoia Dendron is a great one to throw on here as well. So you can toss this on here. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You can also look at the Shinra Greatsword Model 1. This does an earth resist decrease and gives Angeal a Veil, which is obviously very good with physical attack and buff debuff extension. All of that's great. Yeah, like I said, this is a pretty disappointing banner overall for me personally. I think I would just keep the 5 Angeal weapons on there and then just do your one pull and move on. I think it's pretty easy to say that the other 3 banners are better. When it comes to pulling on these banners, there are 2 priority schemes that I think I would focus on, and I'll list them both off. If you are a newer player that has just recently started within like the last, we'll call it 3 to 6 months, if your power level feels a little underwhelming, then I think it's very easy to say that the Vincent or Sephiroth banners are the ones that are the most obvious to pull on. For me personally, I think that Sephiroth provides a more well-rounded power creep for your account if you're just starting today than Vincent's does. Vincent does make every single non-ice resist stage weak to ice, which is very, very good, but that also focuses you in one element and only that element. And if you ever get into a point where they start making everything ice resistant, that's going to start falling off pretty quickly. I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think they're going to intentionally make that weapon weak because it is a limited weapon. That would be pretty silly. But with specifically Sephiroth's outfit, he gets 30% elemental damage to all of his elements, which makes this a very good, well-rounded outfit to have and allows you to build Sephiroth in a way that makes him powerful for your team for any element in the game. And because of this new weapon giving him exploit weakness, which increases his damage even further, he now gets to take all of his really great support weapons, which are kind of lower on the damage side, and it increases that damage by a chunk of percentage, which makes them even stronger while providing your team utility. Sephiroth is one of the best utility DPSs in the game, if not the best utility DPS in the game. And as we've talked about before with Ever Crisis, utility tends to scale and tends to have more longevity rather. So that type of thing I think has a little bit more value. I think Vincent is like just behind Sephiroth in terms of importance. So once you get the Sephiroth outfit, I think you can pretty safely go to the Vincent outfit. And then if you want to pull for Tifa after that, I don't blame you, right? The Tifa outfit and the Tifa weapon are both very strong. If you have been playing since day one or have been playing for more than a year, I think it's probably pretty safe to go for Vincent or Tifa. It's kind of up to you. Earth damage has not been necessarily the highest priority damage type in the game. Now that Odin has been introduced, there's a chance that that changes, that they start to introduce more earth weapons and some more earth options. As it stands today, there are not a lot of earth options in the game right now in terms of earth damage or earth sub weapons. So they could add more and then add more things that are weak to earth damage. But as it stands today, there is not a ton in there, which makes it pretty easy for me to say that Vincent's a higher priority right now. But Tifa is like right behind him, right? Like right behind him. And I think that Sephiroth is still pretty important. If you want to have your Sephiroth do more damage, I think that that's a justifiable like answer to the question, right? For me, as a free-to-play player, I don't really have a ton of vested interest in Angeal at this point, so I don't mind skipping the Angeal banner. I've obviously already pulled for the Tifa banner. If you haven't checked out that video, it's over on YouTube. So for me, I use Sephiroth and Vincent a lot, like both of them quite a bit. And so I think I'm going to pull on the Sephiroth banner first because it ends sooner, and then hope that I get enough crystals to get the Vincent outfit as well, as my hope. I don't think I'm going to be able to get all three. I'm going to try, right? I'm going to try to clear some of the really difficult content that I haven't cleared yet. There's the battle floor 100 that I haven't done yet, so I'm going to try to do that. But that's my idea, and then hopefully I'll be able to get Vincent done before the 16th. That gives me 20 days, I think 21 days, 3 weeks to really like give this a shot. It is 3 weeks. So hopefully I'll be able to get there. I'm already 4 stamps in, so I've got a pretty good shot to get Vincent's as well. And I think with the 6 pulls that we have tonight, I do think that we'll get close to Sephiroth's pull, or to Sephiroth's outfit tonight. And that's pretty much it in terms of the Angeal banner. So we're going to leave it at that. We're going to start by pulling on the Angeal step-up draw, which is free.